Hello, Chicago. Okay, you shouldn't. This is getting broadcast, isn't it? So now everybody says that I will do this for free. It's an exception, okay? I usually get paid millions of dollars to do this, and actually, it's great because I understand that you laugh at very stupid jokes, so it's gonna make my day very easy. Thank you very much. I can continue with this low level of humor. More into you, too. Okay, this is me. What are we going to talk today? We're going to talk about branding, because that's what we do at Mucca Design. We're going to talk a lot about type. And of course, geography, because I'm from another continent and I have a weird accent. I'm sorry for that. I apologize if I don't speak proper English. Maybe you should speak Italian. Would be making my life easier, and probably yours, because I will be able to really communicate. You will probably understand what I'm saying. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about this stuff too. So apologies, because I usually say the word fuck a lot, and I'm going to say it like 5 times now. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I already said one. Okay, whatever. And please count how many times I'm going to say fuck and tell me to stop, okay? After I go over 10, because it's not polite. In public, especially. If you hit something and your knee, you can say fuck. But in front of other people, it's not a good thing to say fuck. Are you counting it? Okay. Okay, so, I have an accent. Everybody says, oh, where are you from? This is great for any conversations. They know that I'm from somewhere else, so it's always a good icebreaker. And I'm, of course, from Italy. And this is what everybody thinks about Italy. This beautiful landscape with hills. There's somebody probably taking a nap next to that cypress there in the heat, or maybe somebody doing something more dirty. I would probably do that. Not with animals. I will never do this with animals. No, ever. Never did. Sheep, maybe? Can we edit this stuff? I'm not. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not even drunk yet. So there's Italy with this wonderful life, somebody drinking wine, eating good food. But the truth is, it's great as a tourist. As somebody works there, it's terrible, because if you're a designer, and this is your landscape. This is what we do in Italy with advertising. This is in the main airport in Rome. It's an international airport, and we have this high-level advertising. This is for a insurance company, and the copy at the bottom says, "Why don't you secure your business?" So this incarnates everything that has to do with Italy. Sport, sexual jokes, which I can't get rid of it, and bad taste, and in general bad typography also. But the only thing that is missing here is what you're going to see next. So I'm going to give you a little bit of Italian lesson. This is On the other side of the column, the same airport, this is another advertising. So what was missing before was this, which is practically 90% of Italian advertising. You can sell any product, but what you have to do, that's what they teach probably at design schools there. You have to put a naked woman or semi-naked woman. And this is, I'm going to help you to translate that copy right now, because this is a ferry that goes from, I don't know, Naples to Catania, which is a city in Sicily, I think. Anyways, so pope means aft, the back of a boat, but also means, okay, so the genius behind this copy thought that, the most famous Italian afts, that what you can read, but also there is a sexual innuendo, is the most famous Italian boobies. Wow. So this is the level of design and communication that we have in Italy. I escaped. And I left to New York to learn how to speak English in 1994. I'm not very good with math, probably 19 years ago. And it was great. I'm going to show you, so now I'm going to show you a little bit of the work that we do very quickly, because we have only 20 minutes and already wasted like 900. And this is some of the work that we do. We do a lot of work in hospitality. This is the first job that I ever did in New York, and it became super famous. And by default, it's a restaurant, it's a French brasserie. And by default, I ended up being called for doing a lot of work that are restaurant related. Not my choice. That's what happens. In America, everything is very by sectors. It was a great job because I was able to put more than 25 typefaces in the same page. This is the biggest type we ever did at Mucca. It's on top of sorry, I don't know, did he do the movie? Yes. It's on top of a hotel in Atlantic City. And it's great because, you design your logos. Actually, I didn't do it. Somebody from my office who was in my office. He's not here there. His name is Steve Yokish. He's fantastic. Now he works in Minneapolis. He left because, not going to talk about the sexual harassment thing. But he was a great designer. And it's great because you design your logos very small on your computer, and then suddenly, after a few months, you see them big, made with neon on top of a skyscraper. It's awesome. Our job is fantastic. As you can tell, I really love to do stuff that is typographically based. And this is a project that we did for the Type Directors Club, which is another association that is very cool. It's cool like the AGA, but also the Type Directors Club is cool. I was a board member of the AGA too. This is a project that we did that was called to design the annual for the Type Directors Club. And it's very intimidating because, it's an annual that everybody who's a designer sees or used to, because now everybody sees stuff on digitally. So what I did, I wanted to do something that was totally undesigned, and I actually hired a Chinese calligrapher, street calligraphers, because I wanted to do something that looked kind of crappy, this bad typography that you have, which you write your fiancé's name. And the truth is, he actually did an amazing job. In 30 minutes, he did the whole alphabet. And we used this for the cover of this this annual. So we draw a lot of restaurant work. I have the timer here, and I'm terrified. I have still 11 minutes. I don't know if I'll make it. So I'll give you a note for your employers if you arrive late. Sorry. This is Victoria's Secret. We did a redesign of their logo and stuff for them. I show you briefly this project that we just did last year. It's in South Korea. It's pretty fun. This is Shinsegae. We didn't design this. Is from Chermaif and Geismar. It's a fantastic logo. I love it. And it's this big company. It's like the Macy's of Korea, and they have a lot of properties. And they wanted to open a fancy food market. And so this is the logo we did. It was inspired by the origin, the mother logo, and we used custom typography. We have a lot of friends typographers who help us give us their typefaces, their prototypes, and often we use them for our work. Gotta go fast. Damn it. I have 10 minutes and 2 seconds left. I don't know if I'll make it. Okay, slide. You say, ooh, wow. Thank you. My ego is great now. Feel good. Keep going. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at this too. Isn't it fantastic too? It was actually a great project. We were presenting on Thursday night our PDFs, having video conferences. They were in South Korea, and at 7 o'clock on Friday, everybody were gathering at 7 just to meet with us. Great people. And they're super organized, super precise. Everything is like the ideal client. And after the meeting, they had the whole weekend to decide for which design to choose. And they were supposed to give us an answer exactly on Monday morning before we were starting to work, because we had no time to finish this big project. And of course, it's 10 o'clock in the morning and no emails from them. 12 o'clock, nothing. And you cannot call them because it's night there. 7 o'clock in the evening, no answers. They're like those mother... Thank you. I didn't say anything. You said it. Maybe you have to do it aloud because they didn't hear you. Mother? Very good. It's a great game. This is interactivity. I love that. Mother? Oh, fantastic. This new device, very responsive, is called the microphone. So they never answered to us. And we were like, oh, okay, my expectation from the Korean population went really down. I thought you guys were better than Swiss. And instead, on Tuesday morning, we were receiving photographs of prototypes of the sketches that we gave them on Monday morning. They were already chosen the proposal that they wanted and made prototypes. So fantastic. This was like, I love this client. And we did everything, from signage to uniforms. We designed the uniforms. They made uniforms for 15 different kind of uniforms in a week. It's amazing. And we hired people that speaks Korean to do the website, of course. This is a redesign for Runa. It's a super cool brew. It's a kind of like a tea. And these two kids went to the Amazon forest to show, to do a thesis on a tribe. And they realized that this tribe was selling the forest to loggers because they didn't have any way to sustain themselves. So they saw that the tribe every morning was gathering around the fire and brewing this tea with leaves that are from that area. And so they are very high in caffeine. And so they decided to import these leaves here, so that now with the money that they make here, this tribe can sustain themselves. They created an industry there, so that they're not selling any more part of the forest. Fantastic client, and you feel good working with them. And then they decided, after selling these bagged leaves, to change the brand and selling ready-to-drink drinks. So we changed the logo from this thing to this other thing. There's a video. I don't see the videos here, so I have to move my head here. Okay. And so this is the packaging. Ooh, you see, the microphone is great. And we do a lot of commercial work, and sometimes I get called to do stuff that are not commercial, and it's kind of difficult because you have like an open brief. AIGA Colorado, they used to do this thing called Bordo Bello, where they call me again, hey, are you interested to participate on this thing for benefit? It's a benefit. We gather money for some good cause. I don't remember what. And there's always some good cause. And I said, yes, I'm going to do it, whatever it is. And they say, you have to design a deck. And that's great. I'll do it. Fantastic. And then I turned my head and asked people in my office, what the fuck? What the is a deck? And I realized that I'm an old man, really old man, because I mean, for the other people who doesn't know what the deck is a skateboard, and that's what I did to show that I'm really an old person. So I'm a kind of like typomaniac. I hate photographers. I'm sorry, guys, because usually they steal the moment. I mean, you open a spread. There's fantastic typography on the right and a great photograph of a crying children. You're touched by the crying. Who gives a fuck about the choice of typefaces you made there? You spent 3 days to set the type. No, photographers, bastards. So I have this horrible thing that I always dislike to be a typesetter, and I love playing, by modifying type, okay, changing the glyphs every time it's necessary, and sometimes even when it's not necessary. So this is like a logo of a fail.com that I did ages ago. This is an example of stuff that you're not supposed to do, but that I love to do. So I designed this logo, and then I was like, okay, I have a ODLINECM. I can make a typeface for no reason. So that's what I end up doing sometimes. I just design typefaces because I like it. And of course, I don't sell them most of the time, and except when it's for a client. And I just don't do the regular setting, but I create triplets, ligatures, alternate letters because I'm an idiot. And even worse, like in this case, this is the first time that I actually started this process of wasting a lot of time. I had 2 weeks to design a logo. I spent 13 days to design a 10 weights fake Cyrillic alphabet, and I used 4 letters of that. So at the beginning, I myself thought designer as a typographer. So I never, when as a typographer, never felt like a real man, because since the early 90s, I've designed many typefaces, but with no formal education in type. I began by designing mostly display faces just for fun, easy to make. Doesn't matter if the kerning sucks in a typeface like this. Actually, this typeface sucks. The kerning sucks worse. Easy typeface to make, like display faces or stuff that you do for fun. Sometimes, I do them for clients that then gets used in their products and missiles. And sometimes, I do families for clients that then I use throughout the products. But I never felt like a real man because I never ever did a text face. Text face is the thing that makes you be like a real man, because it's difficult to make. It needs to be really legible in long sentences, sometimes pages and words and books. So, and they have different weights. Italics are very difficult to design if you never designed it, of course. So, of course, the branding jobs are paying more than type design jobs. So I never really spent a lot of time in designing text faces. So this is wow, this is Miller, this is, Matthew Carter. This is a typeface, not, this display shit that I was making. At a certain point I said, I want to become a real man. I started taking hormones. My voice changed. I started growing hair everywhere. Now I have to shave my back twice a week. Since okay, I wanted to prove my masculinity and design a really text face. Okay, so of course, without any brief, I was like, okay, I have to give myself a brief. So the brief was very silly. I love Clarendon, and so I said, okay, how would Clarendon looks to be in if it was redesigned for long copy, for a book, for a novel? And so I practically thought that, if you take the serif of those flat slab serifs and I made this, do it like this. You push the serif up. You make it a little bit more feminine, a little bit more thin, and then I was able to expand the whole typeface and make something that was actually works as a text. Okay, so of course, a friend of mine asked me to design actually a book with this typeface, and I couldn't finish it on time. So I ended up designing the basic of the type, and I asked a real type designer, a real man, which is Joshua Darden. DardenStudio.com is amazing, to finish it for me, which is amazing, did an amazing job. And of course, it's not for sale because it's still not open type. Actually, if you guys want me to develop it for you, just pay me some money and I'll finish it and give it to you. So I used it for this book, and actually it was pretty fun because I was very inexperienced in designing italics, and I designed the italic in a way that you're not supposed to do. That is very, very wide, too excessively wide. But I mean, it looks okay, but it's not what you're supposed to do. And by pure chance, when they hired me to design this book, most of the book was supposed to be designed with italic type, and this was perfect because being wide makes it easy to read. So very sorry, it's a very nerdy thing. Sorry, I apologize. And then I used this we did a book for Steve Martin, the comedian, last year. It's a book of tweets. It's amazing. You should follow him. It's super funny, and it's a collection of his tweets, which is kind of like a mind. Okay, it says tweets are not supposed to be on paper, and and because it's only about the text, I wanted to put some of me inside this, a little bit of ego, like to design a cover. So we decided to just keep the text because its text is beautiful, and we used that typeface. And it's fantastic. You should get it. It's really awesome. Okay, and then we go with Liminal, which is the typeface that actually I'm using for these titles, and that I gave you guys. By the way, thank you for having me here. Thank you very much. I didn't think. They're awesome. Years ago, in the whatever, I met this guy, this guy, it's like, I'm not out of the closet yet, so it was a typographer's gathering, not one of those ones that you're thinking. I mean, I met this guy on the internet. It's like, no, sorry. It's, to be clear, it's a typographer's website. He came out with this website that has this software that makes typography, to make typefaces. And I tried it was a beta, and I always used FontLab, which sucks balls. It's terrible. It's the worst software ever. So this guy came out with this free software, and I tried it, and it was so good, and I sent him an email saying, wow, it's great. And he was asking actually help from the community on developing the software, and says, I love it, but unfortunately, I'm not a programmer, I cannot help you. And he said, oh, don't worry, you just send me comments on the user, your user, tell me your user's comments. And I started bombarding him, and I bombarded him so much that actually we became friends now, kind of like, long distance relationship is in Germany. And it's very difficult, long distance relationships. So he actually incorporated some features that I asked him, which is fantastic. It's like, calling Adobe, says, hey, can you change this thing? And the day after, there's a new release with your stuff in. Fantastic. So with this, I was able to use this software that does multiple master, which is fantastic. You can work on two weights simultaneously and interpolate. When you generate your font, you can have all your intermediate weights. And this is what I do now. I spend more time designing. This is a poster that I did for a talk that I gave in Wichita. And I spent more time now to design the font and the actual layout. Because you put the font in InDesign, you design in InDesign, then you realize that certain letters, certain kerning pairs are not working. So you go back to the font software, and I fix it there, and I update it, and it's in InDesign. It's a back and forth. If you're a type designer and looking at this and you see mistakes, I know there are mistakes. That was an alpha version of this font. And then I had this fantastic intern, Nick Mizani, who did this great type specimen for this font. And actually, this is the first font that I ever sold in my life as retail to one person only. He requested it, I didn't put it online. These are other projects, that, again, as for the AIGA New York to do a poster about their 30th anniversary, and sometimes it's great to design typefaces that are not legible. Who gives a fuck if somebody... You can do whatever you want. It's a work you do for free. You can do anything you want. And of course, this was kind of like this... Again, I need 4 letters, and then I developed the whole alphabet. And again, it's absolutely illegible. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for this typeface to be here. So that's why I also made the next... I'm working on a bold version that has no sense, because also you can put them on top of each other and they are totally illegible still. But it's cool to do it. So I'm done in 2 minutes. I'm sorry, guys, you have to run. So this is for GQ Italy. A friend of mine was the editor-in-chief of GQ Italy, and he called me because he wanted to give him a list of 10 designers from all over the world, the best ones. And of course he wanted to include me in this list. I was in this list. And I gave it, and so I prepared the list of really the ones that I think are the most important. I mean, like cool people that I know. I also have a terrible memory. But I came out, with a kind of random list. We have people like Louis Feely, Milton Glaser, House Industries, Chip Kidd, Marion Benches, Neville Brody, Experimental Jet Set, Alex Strockwood. People from USA, people from Canada, UK, Holland, and Spain. And so he wanted everybody to make a different cover for this 10 years anniversary of the magazine. And everybody did a good job. And the cool thing is, like, when you're part of this roster of people, you know that you can do anything you want, because they will never refuse the first jacket that Milton Glaser sent them. They will never say, no, sorry, Milton, can you redo it? So I was like in this incredible moment, and I say, okay, I'm going to do, as you see, actually, this one. This is from Neville Brody, okay? Neville decided not to put the text. There's no text on the cover. Just say, yeah, I just put some colors. Who gives a fuck? So I was thinking, okay, those were the 10 that I actually gave them 10, but they didn't use one of them, and they picked another one. There was me, and Leonardo Sonoli. They're both from Italy. Okay, I didn't know Leonardo. I knew about his work. He's a great designer, but I never met him. And so my idea was like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I can do anything I want. It's GQ. Usually GQ has kind of like naked women on the cover. Ooh, great. So I had this fantastic idea that implied having a casting. I love doing castings. And this kind of casting would be like perfect because I wanted to do, like, the idea was to put a 1 before a nipple. Okay, so I wanted to take a photograph of a booby and, put the 1 before so you have a 10 years anniversary of GQ. Perfect, sex, typography. Hey, fantastic. But then, this thing came up back to my mind and says, I cannot be like the usual Italian pig, puts naked women again and it solves the problem. I should be a little bit more American and be more sophisticated. So I said, okay, my second favorite things after sex is typography. Okay, I'll go with that. And so that's what I did. I did just a pure typographical cover. Just pretty fun to do. And then, of course, I didn't see the covers until they were published. And I saw all those covers, and then I saw Leonardo's cover. I don't know if great minds think alike, but Italians, we all think in the same way. Okay, thank you very much.
That was awesome. So what we like to do after presentations is do a little Q&A with the audience. And so I'm going to bring you back here. And I always like to start out with a few questions for him. So,
So to be
yes,
here?
you be here.
Okay.
And I'll go here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but they cannot hear you.
It's okay. You can hear me.
Okay.
Okay. Why did you start Mucca Design?
Why did I start Mucca? Now I'm saying Mucca Design. Yeah, Mucca's Design. Mucca means cow in Italian, by the way. Why did I start it? Because I had clients and I needed the employees and I just needed to incorporate.
That's good enough for me.
Because I don't like to work for other people, though I work for other people as a paid whore.
My second question is, what advice would you give to a young designer starting out?
What advice would I give to young designers starting out? I have no idea. Try to wake up happy in the morning and happy to go to work. I mean, make sure that this happens during your day because, you're spending most of the time in an office. Just make sure that it's the right office. If it's yours or somebody else, make sure that you're happy with what you're doing. And if you try to do stuff that you like. And don't screw the secretary because there could be sexual harassment lawsuit. And in the case, get a good lawyer.
My last question is, what's your favorite position in the back of a car?
My favorite position on the back of the car is, I don't have a license, so.
You don't have a license, that's right.
I don't have a license, so I never go the back of a cab. Yes, probably. I have no idea. Usually, for sure, it's the least uncomfortable. Let's put it in this way.
Does anybody in the audience have a question for Matteo?
No questions.
They're thinking.
There's somebody there. Scream!
I was wondering when you first discovered your love for typography and how you applied that to make a career out of it.
Okay, my love, she asked when, did you, everybody here? Okay, good. I don't know when. I mean, I always like letters forms, but when I started doing, it's actually not a career as a type designer. It's more like a career as somebody who uses type. Actually, I learned how to do type design on the phone with a girlfriend, because I had this girlfriend who was I was trying to break up with her, and we spent hours on the phone talking about our relationship, which was pretty painful and boring. Every night doing the same thing over and over. So at the time I had my first computer and I had a hacked copy of Photographer. So I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. Photographer, oh, great. Yeah, sure. And I started learning how to use the software while I was on the phone with this woman for the next 3-4 weeks. And she didn't know was probably she understood that I was not really present, but that's how it works, and it became kind of like a career. It's true. This is the truth. Maybe I shouldn't say this kind of stuff in public. Should be restrained. Why did I start my office in US and not in Italy? Because in Italy you don't start companies, you go bankrupt. Because Italy sucks. Italians are great for fun, maybe some, not for work. Because if you're young, you want to open a company, you start January 1st with your company. January 15, you get first of all, you have to put the equivalent of $20,000 in the bank. You need to have $20,000 in the bank to open your corporation. You have to put them, then you can take them, but at least you have to put them in there. You need to, you get a client, the 15th of January, you show the work on the 10th of February. You don't get any advance. You give them the invoice. The invoice gets paid 120 days after the end of the month, so 120 days after February, so from March 1st. But there's also quarters in the fiscal year, and every quarter you have to pay the VAT tax, which is the 20% added tax. So if your invoice is $2,000, you have to put $400 in give to the IRS every 3 quarters. So if you build, let's say, $15,000, you have to give $3,000 now, and you see the money maybe in 6 months. So that's why nobody opens their companies there. I mean, it's very difficult to start a business. It's impossible to start. It cripples creativity. And that's why I told them, fuck off, I'm going to go somewhere else.
How do you pick and choose your jobs?
I don't. I need to pay employees. I get anything that comes to our office. Do you have any jobs for me? I'll do it. Yeah, actually we get a lot of jobs because we did other similar jobs, and they look at our website and that's what they ask us. That's why we're trying to change our website, because we want to get new kind of jobs.
Have you always worked for yourself?
Have I always worked for myself? Yes, I started as an illustrator when I was 18, and I didn't go to school, and started working for magazines. Then I suddenly became a graphic designer for some reason, just because I bought a computer, was able to print type in Italy. That's also the other good thing about Italy, the standards are so fucking low. that you can become anything you want, even if you aren't. So I became a graphic designer because I was at a printer, a laser writer, something, one or two, whatever. Um, and and then I worked for 1 year for an agency of a friend of my mother who had a computer, one of the first agency with a computer. That this workstation looks like Star Trek. and he came one night to have dinner with my mother, and he saw that I had my little studio in my mother's house, and I was able to do a million things more than he was doing with this like $300,000 workstation with my $30,000 Mac with 2 gigs of RAM. 2 megabytes, I don't remember. I mean, it was ridiculous low. And so he actually hired me to go there and help people with computer, set up their design with computer department. And I worked there for 1 year, then I escaped, and I had a partnership with 2 people that then I wanted to kill, and they wanted to kill me. So I decided to move to the States. Because murder, it's illegal in Italy. It's the only thing that it's illegal. You don't go to prison if you have good lawyers, if you kill somebody, but I mean, it's still illegal.
Why do you hate Ariel?
I hate Ariel because, I don't know, I found this site called Society6, where you upload your images and you can, by magic, order T-shirts and you call it phone covers or underwear or I don't know, a lot of stuff without, you just send the files and then you order the stuff and they come to you. There's no physical things that you have to do. And so I wanted to create something and try it. And I hate Ariel, so I wanted to scream it aloud. And so, because it's a bad version of Helvetica, there's no reason to have Ariel at all. But it's not me, it's Helvetica who hates Ariel. By the way, society6.com/Mucca. You can get it. Sorry? I think I have the reverse too. I think we made also the reverse, Ariel that hates Helvetica. And we had one with Accidents Grotesque, but I thought it was too brainy, so I didn't put it. Yes?
Why did you name your company after a cow?
Because, why did I name my company after a cow? Because I was at a lawyer's office to incorporate the company, which, by the way, in the States, you just need $600 and you're done. And he said, okay, I filled all the forms, signed all the stuff that needed to be signed. And then, okay, how do you want to call the company? I was like, I have no idea. I said, don't worry, you can always change it later. Just put a name. And so it gave him the nickname that we had for our Dalmatian dog, because it's white and black, it looks like a cow. So I said, okay, let's call it Mucca. There is frog design here, so it could be Mucca design. Yeah, okay. Sorry, can we cancel this? Okay, can we cut this from the movie? Actually, we did a lot of research. Our strategy team spent 6 months doing customer surveys, analyzing the market, competitive analysis, and their brand positioning. Okay.
We have time for one more question. Go ahead.
Do you always start on paper, or do you find yourself starting on the computer when you're doing any work?
Okay, the sketches that you saw for the typeface are fake. I was called by Stephen Heller for a type designer sketchbooks. I was like, fuck, I have no sketches. So I made them up. Thank you very much.